Alright, shalom. First and foremost, all praise Yahweh Bashim Shai. This is GMS Wisconsin coming with a report, something like a special report about fog, or what we known as smog. Excuse me. And it actually just took place in Wisconsin not even a month ago, with a great massive fog covering the whole city of Kenosha in Wisconsin, and as well as Racine and Milwaukee. Okay, so the Spirit jumped on us brothers to get into what that fog and stuff was about. Okay, one brother isn't here, but he gave us this. He brought up about this great smog that happened in 1952. And basically what it is air pollution and chemicals mixed together, and what these devils did was they put it on a ground-based level to attack the people's immune systems even quicker. Okay, and it was all done by the Haarp program. Okay, I was supposed to bring this out maybe 3 weeks ago, but the Spirit had it where we had to find out more information about it. Okay, so now it's being put out. Okay, so we just gonna get right into it. Okay, because one thing you gotta remember, that these devils is trying to kill us off immediately. Going by the guys, Georgia Guidestones. You wanna give me 12 and 12?
Mm-hmm. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you, having great wrath."
Right, and that devil is talking about the so-called white man. Okay, and through his technology. Okay, because through the Haarp program, that's a real how can you say it? Massive weapon of mass destruction device. Okay, go ahead. That's it.
It says, "Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
Right, so that's why he's trying to kill the people off with this Haarp program. Okay, with this weather manipulation. Okay, with the chemicals on the food. Okay, so we're gonna get straight into it. Okay, now this took place 1952.
It reads, "Great Smog." The Great Smog of 52, or Big Smoke, was a severe air pollution event that affected London during December 1952. A period of cold weather, combined with an anti-cyclone and windless conditions, collected airborne pollutions mostly from the use of coal to form a thick layer of smog over the city. It lasted from Friday the 5th to Tuesday the 9th of December 1952, and then dispersed quickly after a change of weather. And that's what happened here in Kenosha.
Yep.
It was,
and it took place for 2 weeks here. Okay, and I got recordings. I got 9 video recordings to show you brothers on how it was taking place and how they were doing it. Okay.
It says, although it caused major disruption due to the effect on visibility and even penetrated indoor areas, it was not thought to be a significant event at the time, with London having experienced many smog events in the past. So-called peace supers, government medical reports in the following weeks estimated that up until the 8th of December, 4,000 people had died prematurely, and 100,000 more were made ill because of the smog's effects on human respiratory tract.
Right, and we already know, brothers in this truth, we already know what the chemical trails is about. Okay, it's to break down your respiratory system. Go ahead.
More recent research suggests that the total number of fatalities was considerably greater, at about 12,000. It is known to be the worst air pollution event in the history of the United Kingdom, and the most significant in terms of its effects on environmental research, government regulation, and public awareness of the relationship between air quality and health. It led to several changes in practices and regulations, including the Clean Air Act of 1956.
Okay, so we just giving a little bit of history on what took place. Just go to wait, yeah. There you go. Let's go straight to that shit. Events, source of pollution. Let me see if it's still going.
It says, sources of pollution. The weather preceding and during the smog meant that Londoners were burning more coal than usual to keep warm.
Right now, this is the what they brought out on how it actually so-called created or started. Okay, and we're gonna show you that how that's just basically it's just a cover up, because they said the coal that was burning in the air is what brought that in. Okay, no, the Haarp program is what triggered it. Go ahead.
Post-war domestic coal tended to be a relatively low grade, sulfurous variety. Economic necessity meant that better quality, hard coals tended to be exported, which increased the amount of sulfur dioxide in the smoke. There were also numerous coal-fired power stations in the Greater London area, including Fulham, Battersea, Bankside, and Kingdom upon Thames. All of which added to the pollution. Research prevention.
Right, and those are different chemical elements. Okay, and basically all of them is really it's when heat mixes up together in those miniature particles. That's what brings in those respiratory tract problems, because sulfur, it says sulfur dioxide, which sulfur means to burn. Okay, go ahead.
It says, research suggests that additional pollution prevention systems fitted at Battersea may have worsened the air quality, reducing the output of soot at the cost of increased sulfur dioxide, though this is not certain. Additionally, there were pollution and smoke from vehicle exhaust, particularly from diesel-fueled buses.
Right, and that's another thing. And you know, those parts is accurate and true, because when that gas pops out, it goes into the communities when you're driving. Okay, so you got the buses, you got the cars, and this is all set up. Okay, because although that gas and those fumes not supposed to come out, and then we supposed to inhale it. Okay, that's air pollution number one right there. Okay, go ahead.
It says, which had replaced the recently abandoned electric tram system, and from other industrial and commercial sources. Prevailing winds had also blown heavily polluted air across the English Channel from industrial seas of continental Europe.
Okay, that's it. No, go to health effects. Scroll down to health effects. Okay, so we just given a history on the Great Smog of 1952. Okay, and now we're finna start getting to how this devil manipulated it and how it actually happened in Wisconsin. Okay.
It says there was no panic as London was renowned for its fog. In the weeks that ensued, however, statistics compiled by medical services found that the fog had killed 4,000 people. Most of the victims were very young or elderly, or had pre-existing respiratory problems. In February 1953, Lieutenant Colonel Lipton suggested in the House of Commons that the fog had caused 6,000 deaths and that 25,000 more people had claimed sickness benefits in London during that period. Most of the deaths were caused by respiratory tract infections from hypoxia and as a result of mechanical obstruction of the air passages by pus arising from lung infections caused by the smog.
Yeah, so all of that fumes that they had going out, pus was actually forming in their lungs, okay? And it was causing people to die.
The lung infections were mainly bronchopneumonia or acute purulent bronchitis superimposed from chronic bronchitis. It says more recent research suggests that the number of fatalities were considered greater at about 12,000.
Okay, so that's it on the health effects on all the people that died. Okay, so now we're gonna go in and show you the videos that I went in and actually recorded as all this was taking place. I got 9 video clips. Okay, and by the way, I actually got sick and started having chest pains from that, because I was literally outside. I was outside maybe twice, or not even twice, like 3 or 4 times actually recording it. So I was actually in that, stuff, and then I was in the car as well. But you'll see the videos.
Alright, shalom. First and foremost, praise be Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honor for the Elder Spirit Millstone. This is the Tazawam, Wisconsin camp. I don't know, something just got on me to make this little video. As you can see how it's, close to 6 o'clock in the morning. And the whole town is covered in nothing but fog, smoke. That was way worse than this a few minutes ago. But the whole town has been covered in nothing but fog and mist, literally for the last 2.5 weeks. I don't know how much you brothers can see it, but if
Alright, shalom. First and foremost, I praise Yahweh Shemel Shai. This is Jim S. Wisconsin. What I'm doing is showing you brothers, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock. Alright, now we've been having this mysterious fog and this mysterious mist that's been going on for like the last 2 weeks. It'll appear and then it'll stop, it'll appear and then it'll stop. And then when it finally comes, it fills the whole town of Kenosha, Wisconsin, where I'm at right now. It fills the whole town up all night and all morning, getting close to 12 or sometimes even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I'm just this first recording showing that there's no mist, there's no fog, there's a little glare of it out there, okay? But remind you, I'm at least 25 miles from the lakefront, okay? Now when you're on a lakefront or an ocean or a sea or a bank or anything, that's where the fog or the mist appears, you know, somewhere like hovering over the waters, because that's where the moisture comes from, okay? Now, when has there ever been fog or any mist to come within the inner city and appear on the rooftops and on top of the trees? Just last night it was above this treetop, okay, these trees, the fog and the mist, okay, which I did a little research on. It is basically smog, okay? I'm gonna have, you know, pictures appear up going back to 1952, 1953 of the London smog that killed, if I'm not mistaken, 12,000 people within the span of 4 days, December 5th to December 9th. Okay, now as you can see, there's no mist, there's no fog. As you can see, everything is clear, okay? And I'll be back in a couple hours. Shalom. Alright, shalom, Yasharallah, all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Zatazawam again. Another segment from the, basically dealing with this poisonous fog that we got going on out here. Or smog, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know how clear you brothers can actually be able to see it. But as you see along the line, it's a glare, okay? But above that, it's thick. It's like thick. It looks like smoke without the smell to it. That's the smog or the fog or the black fog, okay? Now, you know, from where I'm at, it's real clear because obviously I'm not, you know, looking through the camera. But if you brothers can see it, how you can see the glare from whatever lights that's over in that area, but on top of that, all it is nothing but deep fog or smog, okay? And those are those chemicals. I have a segment 6 o'clock in the morning that it was you know, it came all the way to the ground, like I said earlier, okay? And actually I'm gonna get in the house because I can actually feel it, you know, I can actually feel it on my lungs as we speak, okay? So I'm finna go in the house. All praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the next time. Alright, shalom. First and foremost, all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Yeah, this is the next, maybe the fourth take on this situation. As you can see, the fog or the smog is here. It's 5:35 a.m. in the morning, Thursday. everywhere. Once again, like I was saying, now what these people don't realize is that the fog or whatever is only in moist areas. So what is it doing in the inner city? All over. You know. Now, I'll be back to make a little next part. So I'm gonna go out and drive, see how much is in the city. Shalom. Alright, shalom. It's the next footage. Now I'm in the deep in the city, and as you can see, all fog everywhere. Like I was saying, it's all in the inner cities. As you can see, you can barely see down the road because it's covering everything. Now it's 6 o'clock. Let me know. Good. I'm just gonna record just a little bit. So man, as you can see, you can rarely see ahead of you besides without the lights. Looked up the information about this. They said that it's something called sulfur dioxide. Now, sulfur dioxide is a chemical agent that breaks down your respiratory tract. Okay, so this sulfur dioxide equipped with the chemical trails, and basically what they're doing is they're just bringing the chemical trails and the sulfur that so-called Bill Gates spread in the atmosphere, and they just bringing it down closer to the people. Like I said in my second take, that in London 1952, 12,000 people died in the span of 4 days. Okay. I'm gonna just keep repeating. What is all this fog doing all in the inner city? We're deep in the inner city, at least 25 miles away from the lakefront. Okay, we're on the highway. Okay. I don't know how good you can see it, but you can see in the clouds, or you don't see the sky at all because of the thick smoke. Dumbass. I'm one. basically this is those chemicals, and they just bringing it closer down to the people to kill the people. Okay, like I said, it breaks down your respiratory tract. Okay, sulfur dioxide, right along with all the chemical trails. They just a speeding process of taking out the people. I'm gonna do one more footage, and I'm gonna show you brothers at nighttime what it looks like at night, because it's way worse. Because it said that when the people had thought that they'd be all safe because they were inside, but the more smog or the fog or whatever you want to call it, it spread it out during the nighttime, and it clears up in the daytime. Now, like I said, how it looks right now it looks real bad, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. But once you hit nighttime, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, it's way worse than this, and that's my next footage. So until shalom. What's ahead of you? And this ain't nothing normal. As long as I've been living in Wisconsin, which is 21, well, not 21 years, but none of this is normal. We've never seen this happen before. And the thing about it is, you don't hear nothing on the news about anything about severe fog. I haven't heard not one story about why is it so foggy or misty out. You see how they just covered the? You felt that? I mean it just felt like it just got darker, all in this area. Alright, shalom. Here once again. Okay, now it's been a couple hours later since the morning segment. Now you see the sun is all out. It got the temperature then went up a tad bit. It's a little cooler. Okay, you can still see the the mist of it, but overall it's basically leaving now. Okay, I guess we'll have to do another segment showing that after a couple hours, actually you can see it over there a little bit, but after a couple hours it's all gone. Now later on, I think I just might do a whole day of it,
Yeah, I might just do a whole day. I'll wait before I do the lesson or what I'm gonna do. Wait until later on the night, okay? And then I don't know, whatever happens, I gotta just be led by the Spirit. So the Spirit just told me I hear him record one more time, so I'm doing it one more time. Okay? Like I said, sun is out. You see the sun. Alright, shalom. Alright, shalom. Once again out here. You see the fog. It's 8 o'clock. What time is it?
8 o'clock.
8:02. Damn. It's about to start coming earlier than usual. See that? I thought it was gonna come a little later. Usually it comes like around 11 o'clock, 10:30, 12, but it's here at 8 o'clock. See all of that on top of the treetops. And I did the segment, I believe it was at, I honestly don't remember what time I did it earlier, but it was sunny out. Okay? But now everything is clouded up again, and it's finna bring that another wave in. Now when is it have this ever happened before? No. All the mist and the fog will come, and then it'll leave out again. It'll come and leave out again. That's them fucking chemicals these fucking devils is spreading out here. Okay? And you got Jake walking around this motherfucker with not a fucking clue in the world. Okay? Lord's willing, I'll be back later on tonight. Shalom. Alright, shalom. First and foremost, all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai, and honor to the elders. Now, this is another part of the little miniature segment. Now, today is the 30th. So what I did was I had maybe like a 4 or 5 day, video recording. Okay, today I think it's the 5th day or the 6th. 4th or 5th day. Now, the whole situation with this fog or the so-called smog is that when it ends, okay, I'm going off the document that I read and what happened in 1952. They call it a temperature inversion. Now, that temperature inversion is basically when the weather changes up. Now, like I said, today is the 30th. Now, after the smoke and the fog all cleared up and it stopped for maybe 2 days, and basically, as what I read, and I'm gonna pull it up, and it said that after that's over with, it's gonna be a big a climate change or a weather change. Well, here's your weather change, because earlier this morning, and Lord's willing if I can find it, on the 30th, it was 95 degrees. Now, out of this whole time, it's never been, well, without this whole span of what's been going on, it's only been 60, 70, not even 80 degrees. So it just jumped up 20 degrees. It was 95 degrees today. So it was hot as hell and humid as hell out. Okay, and now later on, here comes the cold, and here comes thunderstorm. I'm in a thunderstorm right now. As you guys can see, you probably can see the rain, you probably can't see the rain, but I know you just saw that lightning. Okay, so now it's a thunderstorm. So that's another part of what was going on, is with that, temperature inversion, because that's what was happening from those chemicals and those particles, or whatever you may want to call it, I'm gonna just park. Okay. Now we're in the thunderstorm after all of that. Okay. So what it is, and it's the manipulation of the weather. The Haarp program. Okay, high frequency. High frequency. I actually forgot the meaning of it, but high frequency something aurora program. Okay. Oh, high frequency active aurora program. Okay. And the aurora, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It comes from the word aurora, which is the goddess of dawn. Okay. Beautiful. Because when you get in the atmosphere, the aurora, you can see the beautiful lights or the different colors in the atmosphere. Okay, and that's from messing with the ionic sphere that's maybe 52 miles above the atmosphere. And what they do is with that is they manipulate it, or they make it active by the satellite, by the numerous of, I think they have 100 and something satellite antennas on ground. Okay, and they call it an array. Okay, so what they do is the array, they signal it to bounce off the ionic sphere, which is roughly 52 miles above the atmosphere, when you're going out of space. So what that does is it sends activity signals, okay, activity signals from the radio electrons in the atmosphere down directly to the earth, and that causes your manipulation of the weather. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more into it, when I'm going through the document. I just want to show you brothers and you few sisters out there on how they manipulate the weather with this Haarp program, and as they're doing that, they're chemically poisoning the people with that bullshit ass fog or smog. Okay, now I had a scene where me and the brother was in the car. Me and the brother on one was in the car, driving on the highway. Okay, which was before this lesson, which that was 2 days ago. That was on the 23rd, I believe, or 3 days ago. And the area where we was at is a place called Pleasant Prairie. Now in Pleasant Prairie, there's a lot of factories. Okay, since that you can, when we were out there, it was really bad out there. You couldn't see you couldn't see nothing. Okay, and Lord's willing, I'll go out there and take a couple of pictures or record on how it actually looked without the fog or the smog or whatever. But you can see that it was not. Excuse me, it was real bad out, and that's because of the so-called the smoke and the not coal, but the smoke in the factory lines, the smoke that they push in the air. So they use that smoke from those factories and pushed in that fog, okay, from the Haarp program, and pushed it out throughout Milwaukee. It was throughout Milwaukee, Kenosha, parts in Racine, and then Pleasant Prairie. Those are the 4 spots that I know of, okay, that I've been around. Okay, just like what happened, they said that it was because of the coal through the thick coal and the thick black coal that it spread it over, and then it turned into the fog that went over throughout London. Okay, so I believe this will be my last part of this, and then I'm going ahead and put up the lesson, and get into, reading a little bit of the document and then a little bit of the Haarp program, and then that's it. That's for you brothers to show what they're doing in Wisconsin, where we're at. Okay. So brothers, look out for different weather patterns that's in your cities, or just it's all about being a watchman, man. Okay. It's all about being a watchman and knowing what these devils is doing, okay? So, With that, I'm going to say all praise to Yahweh Bashim El Shai, call halal Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Barakatay Yahweh, Barakatay Yahweh Shai, Muwath Lababal, Muwath Lababal. Shalom.
Okay, now let's go to okay, Haarp. No, it's on here. Mm-hmm. No. It's on here. That's it. Oh no, it's like you gotta keep it big so they can see it. Damn, I did that like 5 minutes ago. It's just not popping up.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
This is High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program. It says the high
That's
frequency.
like, you know, you can see on those videos, you saw when it was in the nighttime and when it settled in the night, got within the night, and then in the morning time, how it covered the whole city. Okay, and it kept on happening that same way over and over and over. It'd come in through the night, settle, and then in the morning time it would be completely chaos. And then a couple of hours later, maybe 5-6 hours later, sometimes it even, which I couldn't record this, but 3 p.m. it was as foggy as it was when it was 6 a.m. Okay, but then it'll leave and then it'll do it all over again. You see that? But now, this way, how about Shemel Shai got into some information about the Haarp program, me and this brother, and now we're gonna show you how they actually used it and triggered it.
Okay. It says High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program. Haarp is an ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, and the University of Alaska, and the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. Designed and built by BAE Advanced Technologies, its purpose is to analyze the ionosphere and investigate the potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology.
Right, and now break down what the ionosphere is.
The ionosphere,
Which we're gonna go through it, but go ahead, break it
the
down.
ionosphere is basically one of the top layers of the atmosphere, and it's more sensitive to the UV rays of the sun. So when the sun beams down on the ionosphere, it causes lights in the air called the aurora borealis. If you ever heard of the northern lights in the North Pole, that's what it creates. And these devils use this instrument, which you're gonna see when we read down, to basically manipulate the ionosphere and to cause disrupt weather patterns.
Yep. Because what they do is they irritate it. Now, like the brother said, the aurora, how you say it? Aurora borealis. Aurora literally means lights. So a key indication of how you know that this Haarp program is being used is when you see the different colors of the lights starting happening. Now, when you see that, that means they have their antennas on the base. Okay, specifically, well, not specifically, they have it in Alaska, Greenland, and Norway. Okay, so they have antennas that I got my notes right here. It's 48 antennas, and this was in I think this was in Alaska. Yeah, this is in Alaska. So they have 48 antennas, okay, and I'm going to bring up pictures to show how the antennas look. And what they do is they trigger it and they hit the ionospheric, okay, which the ionosphere is of solar radiation. So when they hit it, they trigger it, and this is their manipulation part. And they have key triggers to put it on distinctive parts or locations on the earth. Okay, so you want to know why the fuck Japan's getting hit, or Illinois is having earthquakes?
We can see something.
Okay, or California is having earthquakes, or hell, even those foreign countries over there having tsunamis and stuff, because this devil, which he was given a sword, he uses that through the ionosphere and he manipulates, or you can call he irritates the border of the solar radiation, and then he triggers it on down to the earth.
So fast towards you. Of course, it appears to be fairly slow.
Its purpose
when you're
is to
looking
analyze the
aerially. If
ionosphere
you're on
and
the ground
investigate the
and that is
potential for
moving at
developing
such a fast speed,
ionospheric
you can see
enhancement
the boat
technology
here.
for radio
Unbelievable.
communications and surveillance. The Haarp program operates a major subarctic facility named the Haarp Research Station on an Air Force-owned site near Gakona, Alaska.
See, like I said, this was in Alaska. Now they got 4 different parts of it. Okay, and this Haarp program is for also one of the main reasons they made it is so they can stop the Lord from coming. Okay, so-called try to stop the Lord from coming. Go ahead.
It says the most prominent instrument at the Haarp station is the ionospheric research instrument, and this is the instrument or the weapon that they use to shoot the microwaves into the atmosphere. It says a high-power radio frequency transmitter facility operating in the high-frequency band, the IRI, is used to temporarily excite a limited area of ionosphere. Other instruments such as the VHF and the UHF radar, a flux gate excuse me. A flux gate magnetometer, a digisonde, an ionospheric sounding device, and an induction magnetometer are used to study the physical processes that occur in the excited region. So they create these destructive weather patterns and these natural disasters in order to study what occurs and to study how the people react.
Yep. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the phone with the Haarp program.
It's from a page entitled bariumblues.com. It says Haarp is a weapon of mass destruction. Radio waves strong enough to cause earthquakes are controlled by the U.S. military.
Wait a minute. I hope they can hear us. Yeah, they should be able to.
I was just speaking from.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Just read it loud.
It says it's the largest ionospheric heater in the world, capable of heating 1,000 square kilometer area of ionosphere to over 50,000 degrees. Man. It's also a phased array, which means it's steerable.
See, it's steerable, meaning they can be able to control it on wherever they want it to be pinpointed and located at. Okay, go ahead.
And those waves can be directed to a selected target area. What they have found is that by sending radio frequency energy up and focusing it, as they do with these kinds of instruments, it causes a heating effect.
Mm-hmm.
And that heating literally lifts the ionosphere within a 30-mile diameter area, therein changing localized pressure systems.
Right, so they actually shooting solar radiation of the people. Okay, that's why you see people with all types of skin diseases and skin cancer. Okay, they say, oh, it's from the sun. Yeah, it's from those radio waves that they're shooting at the people. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
That's the cause of your global warming, because it says when they shoot the radio waves into the atmosphere, it causes a heating effect. And that's another reason why the polar ice caps up in the Arctic Circle are melting so fast, because you have a Haarp program up there in Norway that's shooting the waves up there.
Yeah. So it's all this devil's fault, okay? He's fucking up the earth.
It says, and it says, and that heating literally lifts the ionosphere within a 30-mile diameter area, therein changing localized pressure systems, or perhaps the route of jet streams. Moving a jet stream is a phenomenal event in terms of man being able to do this. The consequences of atmospheric heating are unknown. Changing weather in one place can have a devastating downstream effect. And Haarp has already been accused of modifying the weather.
Right, meaning manipulating the weather, changing up the weather. Okay? That's it? Okay, now we got another document for you. Weapons of total destruction. And then I want you to give me a Genesis real quick too. The door of heaven. After you read that one.
This is from a page titled reviewzone.com. It says, Weapons of total destruction. The U.S. military was not the only investigator of ionospheric heaters.
You see, the main how do you call it? Propagation for this is to trigger what you known as the ionic sphere, okay, which is it could be over 52 miles above the surface in the atmosphere, or like 100 or something miles above, okay, because that is a how would you say it? Because your ionic sphere encompasses the whole Earth, Okay, when you get into science, that's what encompasses the whole Earth. Okay, so that's why they can pinpoint it and shoot it on any parts of the world, because that is a full circle of the ionosphere that they gotta hit and target.
It says the Russians conducted their own research with similar systems based on Eastland's technology. Other heaters also conducted research in Norway, Brazil, and Puerto Rico. Russian bigger is better programs, however, beamed huge amounts of electromagnetic power at the ionosphere.
See, and they use that through their antennas. Okay, so if brothers is well, I don't know if you've been any brothers are out there even seen these type of antennas anyway, because they would have them ducked off in secluded areas. So, but the Lord should have it any type of way a brother may stumble on something like that. But when you see them, it's like it's an array of some odd antennas. Okay, and we know antennas hold electricity. Okay, electricity waves at that, and when you got it pointed in a direct, specific way, that's how all this happens.
It says successfully bouncing volleys of electromagnetic energy back to the Earth's surface.
See?
At these higher power levels, the heated ionosphere acted like a powerful battery, storing, amplifying, and discharging destructive beams of energy that could devastate a distant target on demand in seconds. At that time, the Russians, the USSR, lacked the power computing facilities that were required to direct and control this energy beam. But the United States now has the power to control and direct the energy beam.
Yep.
It says, in 1995, it said, to be precise, calculations for bouncing these energy beams must take into account the rotation of the Earth and angle of reflectance and the variety of complex dynamic factors. The U.S. had the power of Cray and EMAS computer systems, but lacked the power output capabilities of the Russian heaters. Haarp would change that. In 1995, the U.S. military sought congressional funding for a superheater, a world-class Haarp installation that would be capable of exceeding the Russian power outputs many times over. But there was a snag. The American public had been told that the Star Wars program was a defensive weapon.
You see that? And that Star Wars program was started by who? Ronald Reagan. Okay, that Star Wars system, and it was and it is a defense mechanism. Because when I show you brothers the outline of the articles, I'll show all the articles, and you read through those articles, and some of those offer defense mechanisms, such as the what do you call them? I got it, the EMPs, and that's the knockout. Go ahead, break it down.
It's called the electromagnetic pulse.
Right.
And it disarms all electricity, all technology that runs off electricity in a some odd radius.
Yeah.
Some odd blast radius.
Yeah, anything that would be in the atmosphere, or not even atmosphere, within the so-called air zones. Okay, and what that defense mechanism actually does, it knocks out missiles, it knocks out planes, it knocks out all types of communication, far as when intruders coming into America. Okay, so the number one intruder that's gonna come into this bitch is Yahweh Shai and the angels. Okay, so they trying to use that Star Wars system to be able to block out the Lord from when he comes. It shows you that on Independence Day when Will Smith and that fucking fake Jew, they was in the so-called spaceship, and they had to switch the programming from the spaceship so it can basically blow up or set itself. What did it do? What did they make it do? They made the so-called spaceship where the alien was at blow up. They had to get inside and use something to trigger it so it can basically self-destruct. Okay, but that was a symbolism of their heart program. On when anyone comes in, they use through their science and technology, they can be able to defend and destroy other planes and missiles that comes in. That's what that scene was about.
It says President Reagan had even offered to share this technology with other countries to establish a shield of peace.
See? And then when you get into the scriptures, what it do? It tells y'all they was going to all put their differences aside. Okay? So Reagan was a key man when it comes to this Haarp program shit as well. Okay, because he started the Star Wars system. Go ahead.
Matter of fact, didn't he say that in his quote? He said, "What if we all have to come together to fight a common enemy?"
Yeah.
And more secure for you and your children. I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together.
And that's in the scriptures.
It says, to establish a shield of peace that would forever inhibit nuclear proliferation. But would the American public fund a death ray which could deliver first strike capabilities to any point on the globe within seconds?
See?
Even the military doubted that this would be an easy sale. At first, the military attempted to describe.
We'll read the last remaining sentence, but because that shit is
okay. Yeah, that's it.
It's a real long document, so you have to read it all yourself. So we just cut it there, just to show you and give you a little hint or a down run on what this Haarp program can do based off of the videos that we just showed you. Okay.
Oh, if I may say something real quick, there's a documentary that me and his brother watched called.
Thank you. That's what I forgot to mention.
Called "Angels Don't Play This Harp." Now, in the documentary, not only does it show you all this information that we're bringing out, but it actually shows you what this document is saying about how they sold the Haarp program to the public. And they brought out all types of documents and even lawsuits against the military for false advertising the Haarp program and everything, and not enclosing everything that it can do. And another thing that it can also do, it can cause mind manipulation or mind control, because the microwaves that it shoots into the atmosphere that beam down to the earth, the certain frequencies that they can shoot it at can mess with your mind, because your mind is pure electricity.
Yeah, through your spinal cord. Because your spinal cord is made of is an electrolyte structure, or if it's the fucking word. It's an electro structure. That's how the stems of your spinal cord actually helps trigger your brain when you get into the science of it. So you see people being paralyzed out of nowhere, waking up paralyzed, or mind problems, or any type of deficiencies of their body is because of the fucking solar waves, man. Yeah, that's it on there. Now let's read his blessing. So now you brothers can understand on what this scripture actually means when he was given the blessing of the dew of heaven. Okay? Because the Haarp program was one of those blessings used from his blessing, the dew of heaven.
It says, this is Genesis chapter 27.
It should give it a more defined meaning.
Verse 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Right, so his dwelling will be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. The dew of heaven is representing the atmosphere, okay? And throughout documents and what we're going to further read, and even that's how we know that this is the so-called white man, because he has the capability of the dew of heaven. The heavens is talking about the atmosphere, okay? That's why he's able to do the Star Wars program. That's why he's able to they say that the solar system, the ozone layer, this and the ozone layer that. That's because the white man is up there fucking with shit that he ain't got no business fucking with. But it goes into his blessing, so that's how he's able to do all those things. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live.
Right, and then the document said that the Haarp program is a weapon of mass destruction. That's that sword. Okay? That sword is that that killing device that he uses against himself and the people. Okay? That's how stupid the white man is, because he is brushing, chemicals all over the atmosphere.
Killing
Okay.
himself.
So he's killing himself.
And shalt serve, it says, and shall thy, by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Okay, that's it. We just wanted that key point. You do it effectively. Okay, now let's get back into. Okay, this right here. Anti-cycle. Now we show in the beginning about the great Smog and what they said. Okay, then we show the Haarp program, and we're gonna show something called the anti-cycle, because this is what they would. This would be their propaganda. Without mentioning the Haarp program, this is what they're gonna tell you about the cycle of the atmosphere and shit like that. But not knowing that the Haarp program has a lot to do with this anti-cycle. So go ahead.
It says anticyclone. An anticyclone is the opposite of a cyclone. Is a weather phenomenon defined by the United States National Weather Service glossary as a large-scale circulation of winds around a central region of high atmospheric pressure, clockwise in the northern hemisphere, counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. Effects of surface-based anticyclones include clearing skies as well as cooler, drier air. Fog can also form overnight within a region of higher pressure.
You see, so the fog that can form over high night from the so-called anticyclone, which we just, I'll bring up the video right now. The fog showing from overnight, but those chemicals that they putting in overnight, because people sleep. When it's nighttime, is more longer than the day sometimes. Okay, so when people have to go to sleep, when they go to work or third shift, that's when they set in all that chemicals and shit on the people at night. Okay, that's why it comes in at night and it finishes you motherfuckers off in the morning. Go ahead.
It says counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. Effects of surface-based anticyclones include clearing skies as well as cooler, drier air. Fog can also form overnight within a region of higher pressure. Mid-tropospheric systems, such as subtropical ridge, deflect tropical cyclones around their periphery and cause a temperature inversion.
And we're gonna get into what the temperature inversion is. And I think we skipped the Alex for. Yeah.
Okay.
But we can go back.
It says inhibiting free convection near their center, building up surface.
You know what? Slacky, I don't want to cut you off, but let's go right into that. Go into what the inversion is, because it said it. So it says deflect tropical cyclones around the right here and cause a temperature inversion. Okay, so let's see what this temperature inversion is about before we continue reading. Is it on there?
Nope.
I don't got it on there. Let's see.
I'm gonna have to click on it. Oh, here we go.
I'm about to say, I know I'm gonna put it.
This is from Wikipedia.com. It says inversion. It says in meteorology, an inversion is a deviation from the normal change of an atmospheric property with altitude.
Which is talking about the weather, because altitude is something that rises. Okay, that means basically to rise up. Okay,
that's the high atmospheric pressure.
Exactly.
It says it almost always refers to a temperature inversion, an increase in temperature with height, or to the inversion layer, which such an increase occurs. An inversion can lead to pollution such as smog.
The inversion can lead to pollution, which is smog.
Being trapped close to the ground.
See, it's being trapped close to the ground. So you wouldn't understand that how they manipulate with the Haarp program that pinpoints these different locations. It says that the inversion in what it traps the smog, which is chemicals, to the ground. Now, all you saw throughout these videos, which they'll be still popping up, is that fog was all low to the ground. Okay, but you read this anticyclone, then you read inversion, but you'll think that that's some fucking normal thing that'll happen once in a while. No, it's used through the Haarp program. Go ahead.
It says an inversion can also suppress convection by acting as a cap. Right. And convection is the rising of the pressure. So it puts a cap on it and traps the pressure inside.
There you go.
If this cap is broken for any of several reasons, convection of any moisture present can then erupt into violent thunderstorms. And that's what we had, 2-3 days ago on Saturday.
Right, and no, it happened right after. See, I'm gonna show the video. Okay, read that part again, and then I'm gonna bring. When he read this again, I'm gonna bring in the last video that you brother saw, the 9th video. The last thing that happened was a fucking thunderstorm. Okay, so read that again.
It says convection of any moisture present can then. It's like it says if this cap is broken for any of several reasons, convection of any moisture present can then erupt into violent thunderstorms.
Right, and what happened? And I'm showing the video as we speak, and that's when that thunderstorm had happened. 2 days after, because after it stopped, it was a day of clear skies. It wasn't no smoke or fog, whatever you want to call it. And then the next day, a thunderstorm happened.
Temperature inversion can notoriously result in freezing rain in cold climates.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You want me to read?
Okay, now that's it on the temperature inversion. Okay, now just finish reading from right here.
This is back in anticyclone. It says, such as subtropical ridge deflect tropical cyclones around their periphery and cause a temperature inversion,
Now you know what that is.
inhibiting free convection near their center, building up surface-based haze under their base. Anticyclones aloft can form within warm core lows such as tropical cyclones due to descending cool air from the backside of upper troughs such as polar highs, or from large-scale sinking such as subtropical ridge.
Okay. Now, it mentioned haze. Okay, build a surface-based haze. So now, what is haze? Now you got to see what the heck this haze is. Now go ahead and read that.
It says haze. Haze is traditionally an atmospheric phenomenon where dust, smoke, and other dry particles obscure from clarity of the sky. The World Meteorological Organization Manual of Codes includes a classification of horizontal obscuration into categories of fog, ice fog, steam fog, mist, haze, smoke, volcanic ash, dust, sand, and snow. Sources for haze particles include farming, plowing in dry weather, traffic, industry, and wildfires. Seen from afar, an e.g. approaching airplane, and depending upon the direction of view with respect to the sun, haze may appear brownish or bluish, while mist tends to be bluish-gray.
Hold on. Just skip all the different fucking varieties.
Okay.
Just go straight to right here in the United States.
It says, in the United States and elsewhere, the term haze in meteorological literature generally is used to denote visibility, reducing aerosols of the wet type. Such aerosols commonly arise from complex chemical reactions that occur as sulfur dioxide gases.
Right. The sulfur dioxide gases is what you were seeing when we were out. And another thing, when we was recording, when you saw, and I'm gonna put it up. We was in Pleasant Prairie. Okay. Now we live in fucking Kenosha. Okay. We drive a couple of miles up and we get into Pleasant Prairie. Now the reason why Pleasant Prairie was so thick with the fog or the smog as I was driving, okay. And and I'm gonna show it when I turned the camera. When a brother turned the camera, was with me in the car. He turned it to the right side, and you see nothing but the fog. That was because, like they said back in 1952 in London, when it happened in London about the plants. What did they say? It I can't really get it out right now. It says, look at that. You can't even see what's ahead of you. Oh, it happened from their factory plants or whatever. That's because over there in Pleasant Prairie, that's all where we was driving at that you didn't see were nothing but factories. Okay? There was nothing but factories and all the smoke was rising up in the factories. So they are using that factory chemicals and smoke from the factories that shoots up, and they trigger and manipulate the weather, and they spread it all out. And the chemicals that's in that is sulfur dioxide. It's sulfur dioxide gases, which sulfur means to burn. So when you burning shit, if you have miniature burns in your esophagus or your respiratory system, what that does is, one, depending on how bad it is, you get lung cancer. Okay,
Bronchitis.
we get bronchitis. So when you get bronchitis, those are miniature miniature scales of a slow way of dying when you have bronchitis. Okay, because you're not able to breathe. And how do you breathe? Through your respiratory system. Okay.
It says that sulfur dioxide gases are emitted during combustion, are converted into small droplets of sulfuric acid. So what we're breathing in is acid.
Exactly.
The reactions are enhanced in the presence of sunlight, with relative humidity and stagnant airflow.
Right, and as you've seen, going back to the videos, y'all go rewind it, go back to all the videos that I combined up together. What happened? It was sunny as hell outside, and I showed that. I even put the camera on the sun, because when it started slowly coming in a little bit, it was sunny and it was bright outside. Okay, just because you don't see the chemicals in the air, the chemicals are still in the air.
It says a small component of wet haze aerosols appear to be derived from components released by trees such as terpenes. For all these reasons, compounds. A small component of wet haze aerosols appear to be derived from compounds released by trees, such as terpenes. For all these reasons, wet haze tends to be primarily a warm season phenomenon. Large areas of haze covering many thousands of kilometers may be produced under favorable conditions such as each summer.
So that's basically it. We just showed you, brothers, on what it's about and how it's triggered and erupted. And me personally, I was sick after that. I did get a little I was having a little bit of chest pains. I was coughing. I know a couple other people, with, as far as family wise, they were having headaches. They were coughing. So now all we're waiting on is to see, the after effect, because it's been 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now, and it may not, shit, Lord's willing, I wish it would, 4,000, 12,000 died in this place, but now you just got to start paying attention to who you hearing about people being sick, okay? And the white man, he'll kill you slowly, because that's how he do it, okay? You'll just go to the doctor all healthy, and then you'll come out in a body bag, okay? So, well, through the interest of time, we got scriptures, but I'll just put the scriptures up in post-production, because we do have to go ahead and get to something else. So I'm gonna just put the scriptures in post-production. You brothers can read the scriptures yourself. Go through the documents. I'll put the documents up. Go through the documentary, which is "Angels Don't Play This Harp."
And there's another one called. It's called Haarp, Holes in Heaven. That's another good one.
Yep. So we brought the information out. Start busting this white man out more and more through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay? With that, say all praise to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double to the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the brothers who doing the work in sincerity and truth. Okay? Fuck the 2/3.
1952, a severe air pollution event known as the Great Smog plagued London. A period of cold weather combined with an anticyclone and windless conditions collected airborne pollutants to form a thick layer of smog over the city. The temperature inversion trapped chimney smoke, vehicle exhaust, and sulfur dioxide. The presence of terry particles of soot gave the smog its yellow-black color, bearing the nickname pea souper. When the smog eventually cleared, there were slimy, grayish-black soot particles on all surfaces outside. The grime stayed for days until rain came and washed it clean. The rancid smell from the wet soot irritated the eyes and noses of people caught outside. At the time, the smog didn't seem to be a significant event, since London is known for its fogs. However, in the weeks following, 4,000 people died and over 100,000 became sick due to respiratory tract infections. Later research suggests the death toll was closer to about 12,000. The Great Smog of '52 impacted government regulation, research, and public awareness of air quality, leading to many changes, including the Clean Air Act of 1956.